To make mozzarella, you're going to need citric acid, calcium chloride, kosher salt, and rennet. You can use either animal rennet or vegetable. The calcium chloride is kind of optional, although it makes the product better. Next, we're going to measure out 8 grams of citric acid, 8 grams of kosher salt, and 1 gram of calcium chloride. Then we'll add all of these to 275 milliliters of water. Once the citric acid, the calcium chloride, and the salt are dissolved in the water, add them to the milk. This is Reese POV because I realized I forgot to mention how much milk we use. And the measurement is on the thing. It's gallon, which is, I don't actually know, in liters. So this is about 4 or something, I think. Put this a little in. Yeah, 3.78 liters. After adding the salt, calcium chloride, and citric acid to the milk, bring it to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Measure it frequently and bring it to 80 degrees really slowly. You'll notice when you add the mixture, it gets these little curdles in there. Those are the curds that are formed by the acid. You'll know it's close to 80 degrees when it's slightly warm to the touch. Next, we'll add 5 milliliters of rennet to 50 milliliters of water. Once you've brought it to 80 degrees, you can go ahead and add the rennet. Stir in the rennet. Shake off your wooden spoon and add a glass lid. It has to be glass because, come on, you want to watch as the curd forms. Everyone wants to see that. It's magic. Now you leave it for 15 minutes. We can watch the curd form. And as we do, I will talk about what's happening. This is video editing, Reese. I have run into a bit of an issue. I have a lot of footage, and I can't fit all of my science topics in. So I'm going to put some little numbers in, and anytime you see a number, it'll correspond to a science topic in the description. We can see a solid mass beginning to take shape. Just want to get a close-up of that delicious curd. Delicious curd. Once it's sat for 15 minutes and you can see whey a little bit on the edges and it's kind of backed away from the side of the pan, we'll take a knife and cut it into strips. Turn on the burner and gently, over the course of maybe 5 or 10 minutes, raise the temperature to 103 degrees. You'll know it's the perfect temperature when you stick your fingers in. It feels just like a hot tub that you would love to get into. So we're about there, so I turned off the heat, and now I will let it sit until the curds become stretchy and elastic a little bit. It's been a couple minutes, and we'll just give it one last stir. You can see that the curds have shrunk significantly, and they've taken on a different texture. They're kind of stringy and stretchy now. Next, we take a ladle and we ladle out the curd into a strainer. Oftentimes people will use cheesecloth, but that's not necessary here because of how stretchy and elastic our curd is. Okay, so once you have separated your curd and your whey, place a bit back into the pot, maybe half of the way, and you're gonna take that and you're gonna heat it up to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. And you'll know it's 180 degrees Fahrenheit because that'll be when it just starts to steam. Once your whey starts to steam just a little bit, you're gonna take half of your curd, just pick that sucker up, and just place it gingerly into the hot whey. Once it gets melty and good, and you're going to want to stretch it back and forth about 4 times or 3 times. You're going to see that it's going to turn from curdy to stretchy. Once it gets a little cold and hard to work with, we just heat that back up. Warm that sucker up again.
It's so moist.
Once it's melty again, you're just going to want to take it and form it into a delightful little ball. Take it and place it in your cold salt water. Okay, next we're gonna take our cheese balls and we're gonna just gingerly rinse them under cold water. And then your cheese is done.
Oyster sauce!